let's move to some headlines. So big headline today. We have Matt Moyoko. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but he's a blue check on Twitter, and he has a Pro Football Hall of Fame vote. So this guy's not throwing out clickbait, I'm assuming. He said, quote unquote, that Deebo Samuel could be traded for the right price. Now, my first reaction to this is obviously everything has a price. That doesn't mean the 49ers are shopping Deebo Samuel. I'm not currently selling my car, but if my neighbor comes over here and offers me 50% more than what it's worth, all of a sudden, my car is available. That's how that works. Now, Deebo Samuel, would I do it? Well, specifically, would I do it for the package that the Jets tried to swing for Tyreek Hill? So what did that look like? The Jets offered up pick 35, 38, 69 in 2022, and then they kicked in a 4th rounder in 2023. Now, when I first saw that for Tyreek Hill, I thought that was a steal to not have to part with one of your 1st round picks. So I'm good with that capital because I think Deebo Samuel, although obviously different styles, is, almost as valuable, probably about as valuable as Tyreek Hill when you consider his ability as a rusher. He's going to get you 1,700 yards of scrimmage yards, double-digit touchdowns, incredibly valuable. I'm good with that. I'm good with the draft capital. The thing that makes it a gut punch, though, is to give up those picks and then shell out like $30 million. That's tough. That's tough. So let's think about what those assets could get us if we kept them. Okay, 35 and 38, basically late 1st round picks. So you're hoping for high impact starters, above average starters. Pick 69, you're hoping for a guy who can develop into a starter. And then the 4th round, maybe you're looking at a high quality backup and special teamer. Then with 30 million, if you split that in half, you can get 2 borderline Pro Bowl players at other positions. I mean, 30 million, that's what we paid Laken Tomlinson, DJ Reed, and Tyler Conklin a combined. They made like 31.5 million. So 2 guys who are going to be starters and 1 guy who's going to be sharing snaps at tight end. So man, I mean, it could be like 5 starters that you'd part with. Now, would I do it? Yeah, I probably still would. Number 1, because obviously those draft picks could bust. We know that better than anyone. One of those 4 picks is going to be a bust who like never really plays a role in the league at all. Just by the numbers, that's probably going to happen. And then talking about the money, I mean, the whole reason that you are good with the cap is that so you can sign elite players, right? That's one of the main reasons. And if you're getting an elite player who's an ascending talent, who's still young, that's what the salary cap is there for. All throughout the playoffs, you saw elite players making big plays in big spots. The Jets don't have a lot of elite players. They just don't. And another reason why I would do this is we have to think about what are our goals. Realistically, you have to pause and ask ourselves, what are our goals moving forward? And you might say every team's goal is to make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl. Okay, well, I mean, in order to make the Super Bowl, we're probably going to have to win the division, right? The Buffalo Bills are the number 1 betting favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. They have a top 5 quarterback. They're well coached. They don't really have any holes on their roster. So even if we put together all those things I mentioned before to make the playoffs, I still don't think those things are good enough to have us be the best team in the AFC East next year. Probably not. But what about some other goals? What about being exciting? What about being relevant? What about being able to justify the cost of our season tickets? What about having us on national TV and have it worth turning on the game? Like, those are some other goals, because the last 5 years, we have the worst record in the NFL. We've lost more games than the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, the Houston Texans. Worst record in the NFL. And every time we get put on national TV, I almost don't even want to turn on the game because it's been embarrassing, honestly. So Deebo brings relevance. He brings excitement. It's worth turning on the TV just to see Deebo. It's worth buying a ticket just to go see Deebo. And I think the same argument could have been made for Tyreek. Yeah. Some other goals. Besides, winning is obviously number one, and he would help us win, but he would also help us accomplish some other goals besides winning. So I'd swing it for Deebo. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would that same package be worth it for Deebo Samuel?